Welcome to Benny and Beyond. I'm Fionn.
And I'm Reese, and this is Benny.
In this video, we are going to be showing you our DIY van build and breaking down some of the biggest costs.
Now keep in mind, she's not 100% finished, but we've been living on her for nearly a year full time now, so we thought now's a good time for a tour. So Benny is a 2003 Volkswagen T4 short wheelbase. She is an XAA van, so it comes with a few improvements over spec. She has a better gearbox, better suspension and slightly more horsepower. Now we're going to save the cost of the van to the end of the video because it's the biggest varying cost, so it completely depends on what you prefer. As you can see, she's not the biggest of vans. To be exact, the living space is 2.5 by 1.4 metres.
One thing about living in a van this small is storage. Every inch of such a small van needs to be optimised so that you can efficiently store everything you need. So when we built the conversion, one of our main objectives was to make sure that we had an exterior cooking space so we could cook outside. However, as you can tell from our channel, we like to travel out of season when the weather isn't the best. So we had to make sure that we provided an interior cooking space so that we could cook when the weather was bad. The interior kitchen is probably the most finished part of the build, but it is showing quite a bit of wear and tear now. The countertop was a really cheap desk from IKEA, and if you want to see how we put it together, you can watch our conversion series. We filmed pretty much everything of the build. Moving further down, we have our storage baskets. Again, a common theme with this build is IKEA. These two baskets are identical, they're from IKEA, very cheap. This was one that we repurposed from a house that we were living in, we just had it lying around. We keep all of our dry food storage in these baskets. We keep pasta, sauces, spice packets, any seasoning extras that we need. In the middle basket, however, we keep cleaning supplies, our heat mat, cups and extra tea towels. And then finally this, which is a bit odd looking, this is actually an extendable bin.
You can try and pop that out.
Yeah, let me give it a go. Bloody hell. It's a bin. We got it from B&M. Again, I think it was like £4, and most of the time it just houses storage, so like a chopping board. We've got a tin opener in there, but it's quite handy as it sits on the front of the baskets. And then in the final IKEA basket, we also keep more spices, mainly sauces in this one, and snacks. And this is Frank, our fridge. Don't mind my stash of dairy milk. So Frank holds about 5 days of food, I would say, including snacks, meat, loads of stuff, vegetables. We don't have to worry about going hungry. He does not have a freezer section, however you can turn him into a freezer, but you lose the fridge option. So we do have that. He runs on 12 volts, and at the front here,
It's a bit cold at the moment.
oh he is. At the front here you have the control panel, you can change the settings. He runs off of 12 volt or mains, we run him off 12 volt, and he is a compressor fridge. Moving on back up here, we have two storage nets here for extra food storage. We have a white one which holds vegetables, bananas, and then the green one, which is much bigger, holds things like bread, big bags of crisps so that they don't get crushed in the smaller baskets.
Okay, moving down, we have our 20-litre water tank. This lasts us about 5 days, so about the same time that all the food in the fridge lasts us, so that's good for us. This was £15 from Halfords. Further down again, we have our heater vent. This can spin around, not getting much use of it right now, but it's connected straight to our heater, which is behind the driver's seat. One nifty thing about this countertop is this bit's removable to get to the storage below, so I'll show you that now. So if you come closer, here you'll see behind our water tank we have, of course, a picnic blanket. We have an electronic screwdriver. Below that we have our RAC bag, which is filled with tools, anything we may need in a breakdown, just useful bits and bobs. Further back, this is, I mean, in this size of a van, quite a good chunk of storage. It goes down a good 2 feet and it's filled with, at the moment, it's usually our laundry, dirty laundry goes in this bag, which gets stored away here. We have some things like we have towels, games. Underneath all this is a removable shelf, and then underneath that is our heater. So we can get to the heater either through here or by pushing this seat forward and coming at it through the door. So one more thing about our diesel heater, it was one of two things that we paid someone to do in this van. It is plumbed directly into the tank, and for supply and fit it was £180, which we thought was very good. It's really efficient and it served us very well in Scotland, where temperatures got down to minus 15 degrees. Here we have two USB slots and our heater control panel, which is very simple, but we'll go more into the electrics later on in the video.
So now we're moving on to the main living area of our van. This acts as our living room, our bedroom and our office. Despite it being quite small, we find that we can quite comfortably host 3 to 4 people and lounge quite freely in here. The design we went for features an L bench with a slat bed that pulls out. We have this big piece of foam beside me, which comes down and fills out the bed. It is smaller than a standard double, both in width and length, mainly because we built it to size. Reese and I are both under 6 foot, so there was no point making a bed the size of a standard double if it was not going to be used. We would have rather had the space for our water storage or our kitchen, so that was what we prioritised in our build. As a result, we had to get custom made foam. We contacted a company local to us in Cardiff, and a very nice gentleman helped us out. He helped us choose the thickness of the foam, the firmness of the foam, everything, and he did it all to our measurements. Ironically, despite us measuring it, one piece is too long, so that's an interesting part of the build. The foam was an expensive cost to us anyway, but it's something we didn't want to skimp on. It's going to be a bed that we lay on every night, and it's well worth the cost in our opinion. I have heard of other people doing it cheaper, cutting up mattresses and things like that, but because of our bed size, it wouldn't have worked for us. We are yet to upholster the foam as well. For the time being, they just have sheets wrapped around them, and then we take them off, wash them, re-wrap them. So we would like to upholster them in the future. We do actually have the fabric to do so, we just haven't got round to it. Overall, I would say we are really happy with the design we chose. We had to opt for a slat bed design because we didn't fancy a rock and roll bed, and the bed had to be modular. We couldn't have a fixed bed in a van this size, it's just not an option. So we opted for slat bed, and although it was a bit of a pain making it ourselves, it works and it's perfectly functional and it works really well for us. Throughout the van build, we tried our very best to use either materials that friends and family or ourselves had lying around, or we repurpose things so that we could keep to the budget. So a good feature about our bed is that we actually managed to fit 2 large IKEA storage bins underneath. We keep the most important stuff in the front box, and then the back box, as we refer to it, keeps things that we use less.
Sorry about the shadow, the sun's suddenly just come out. So in the front box we have chess. Recently got this, we're using it all the time. So we have a fold out toilet, because if you ever noticed, this van's quite small, so there's no toilet here, so that is our solution. We have our medicines, bin bags, food bags, things like that, all go in this box. The second box, or back box, is mostly filled with games. We are big into board games, and a lot of the time when you're travelling you don't have signal, or you're on a rainy day, something to do, so board games is a must for us. Other things in here, a couple of extra books, some extra the bags, extra tea towels, instruction manuals, things like that. One other thing that we completely forgot about, because it's hidden right in the corner, is this little basket, which is filled with a couple of extra bags, hats, winter stuff, things you may need every now and again.
So lastly, for the interior kitchen, we have this part here. This is probably one of my favourite parts of our van build. This again is from IKEA. We're not sponsored, I swear, but IKEA, you may as well. So this is from IKEA. These are all removable storage pots. They're absolutely brilliant. So we keep our tote bags here, we keep things like hand sanitizer around the side. We each have a little pot, so we have like aftershaves, smellies, that kind of thing. And then we keep our toothpaste and our toothbrushes here. And then this one, the biggest one, also removable, is for our shampoos, body washes, things like that. And then below it, we just keep Reese's squash and our dish soap. The next part of the build is our side unit. This is probably the most unfinished part of the build. So unfinished actually, that we have a doorknob, a beautiful doorknob, that we've never actually put on, but we will. So inside the storage unit, it goes all the way to the back of the van, and we use magnetic clasps to hold on the door at the minute. And in here we have tons of stuff. This bag contains all of our toiletries. This bag contains all of our electronics. We keep toilet roll, other little bits and bobs like scarves and things in here. At the back, it's a great piece of storage and it hides all our crap. Underneath the side unit, we have another compartment. It runs all the way to the back of the van as well. And in here we have a table leg, because the side of this unit doubles as a table. We have a little bolt, comes up, and the table rises. The table leg then comes underneath and slots into place. You can then screw it in. Again, the table leg is from IKEA.
So with the side unit, just above, we have another area of the van that's pretty much finished. We have bread bins from, you guessed it, IKEA. We have a bread bin each. These are for things like socks, underwear. So we keep these just by here. And underneath, we have a little netting area. This has our carbon monoxide alarm, our deodorants, other things that we like to keep handy. To the left, we have a little shelf area, almost. Books that I would say we're currently reading is Fionn. So books that Fionn's reading, some travel books are always around, Polaroid albums, and that's just covered with some netting. Underneath, we have some more electrical bits, but again, we'll go over that shortly. And finally, here, we have a nice big cork board. Here we pin some photos. We've got a lot of photos that we are yet to pin. And we have our little pen board, which is for writing shopping lists, anything like that really.
So lastly, I am going to go over some of the more soft furnishings that we have to make it feel very homely in here. Firstly, we have fairy lights. They're very small, but they do pack a little bit of a punch, and we often have them on in the nights, or if we're worried about people seeing the lights from the outside. They give it a really cozy, homely feel in the evenings. We also have this garland at the back. I got this off of Etsy from a small business. It's just sunflowers, and I think it fits Benny's vibe very nicely. We also have, which some of you more eagle-eyed viewers may have seen before, is a vast magnet collection, I would say. We have a couple up here. They are random magnets from different places that we've been with the van. So we've got the Game of Thrones studio tour from Northern Ireland, we've got Chester Zoo, we've got Skomer Island, and we've got Puffin Awesome Pembrokeshire. The bulk of our magnet collection is on this side of the van. We like to collect, generally, a magnet from each country that Benny visits. However, we do special ones. So we have some really cool ones in the collection, like we have a pasty from Cornwall, we have a camembert, we have a Rugby World Cup one, we have this one from France. They're a great way of keeping little mementos from a trip in a van, especially if you have exposed metal like we do. Let us know if you guys keep any mementos from your trips. Do you keep things like postcards or magnets like us? Let us know. So I sleep on the side closest to the wall, which means I have no access to any kind of like shelf or storage when I'm in bed. So we found this on Etsy and I got it as a Christmas present, and in here I store wires that we use all the time, our Wi-Fi, which is a Huawei one, my Kindle, and I also have my little vagabond, which has little rings on it for every country that we've been to. And then at night I put my glasses in and my phone so that I have them quite close by during the night.
You may have noticed we haven't shown you our clothes storage. Well, that's because it's all in this big duffel. We keep it on the front seats, and there has to be a drawback on living in a van so small, so this is our clothes solution. Okay, so the back of the van. Here we've got quite a few things going on. start with not the most interesting, washing up basket. Down here, you've got our storage. So shoes, hiking shoes go here, regular shoes, and we have our pots here because they don't fit anywhere else. Over to the left, we have our jack, because you never know when you might need one. You have two little hiking chairs here, little fold out, they're brilliant, and our fire extinguisher always close by. On this door, we have two more of these nets. These are quite recent additions and they're brilliant. Here, this one acts as pretty much a spice rack, and then this one, extra utensils, a cutlery roll, all in that one. So now, the outdoor kitchen. This is a big drawer with these runners that we got off Amazon. They can hold, I can't remember the amount of weight, but they can hold a lot of weight on these two runners. All the stuff we store in here. Here is our 2-pan stove. We have frying pan, plate, kettle, our gas canister, which is always sealed, and extra dry foods, tinned foods, pancake mix, all in the back. So this is the lid for the drawer, which we've glossed, heat-proofed, and underneath we've got these little kind of support runners so it doesn't move so much. That goes back on, slides along, put the hob on here, and that's what we cook on. It works perfect. So one thing to note about Benny is that she's a barn door, not a tailgate, which is, I think, not a very popular opinion with a lot of van life. A lot of people pick the tailgate so they have the protection from the rain. We like the barn doors because they can open all the way out to open up the van completely. So the only last bit about the outdoor kitchen is our little table. That falls down like this, very simple, and it just means here I've got somewhere to chop, prep, I've got a proper little kitchen. Finally, to our electronics. This was the other thing done by a professional. We didn't do the electronics. You can do, but Fiona was not at all confident with me doing it. This is overkill. This is a 230 amp hour AGM battery. This thing weighs 60 kilos, so we've got wooden beams nailed straight through, screwed in, and that's not moving anywhere. AGM for us was the best option. Lithium just did not fit in our budget. Here is our electric board. So if we need to change any fuses, anything like that is here. Our kill switch is here as well, and that is as simple as it gets. Our electrical system is solely 12 volt. To us, that's all we needed. It was too expensive to get mains. It all takes up a lot of space to get that mains power into the small van, and we just didn't need it for what we use the van for. Another thing to note, we don't have solar, we don't have hookup. All of our power is charged from a split relay going from the front. And for us, we've never used more than 10% of our power because we went so overboard on a large battery. So the last bit of the electronics is this bit here. 2 more USBs on this side of the van, a very simple battery monitor, and on the back here is our switch for all our lights. Okay, so finally, the cost of the van. Our van cost us £5,500. Now that sounds like a lot, and it is. Yeah. but we got quite a bit for that money. In that money we got the van itself, new arches, new sills, so quite a bit of welding work, a new windscreen, a few of the little bits and bobs throughout, and a full respray.
Yes, which was the main thing.
Yes, exactly. Now, we know that we paid a bit of a VW tax, so you can definitely get something similar or bigger for the same price, if not cheaper, as long as you do your research. But for us, that was a price we're willing to pay.
Yeah, we see vans of all shapes and sizes on our travels, and trust me, it is not the be all and end all having a VW. That is not what we're saying. It was just a dream vehicle for us to have, so we prioritise that. We haven't gone too much into the cost breakdown of this build. If you would like to see that, let us know in the comments and we'd be happy to film it.
If you have any questions, anything that we didn't address, please feel free to leave them in the comments and we'll go through, answer them all and let you know. If there's a lot of questions, we may just record another video. It might be easier to address them all at once.
So thank you so much for watching. We really hope you enjoyed watching our van tour. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. We do van life and travel content and we hope to see you in the next video. Table leg. then slots underneath and screws in. What? Oh. Why have I got my sunglasses on? What am I saying?
And the second backs.
Let's do it.